Yo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. It's another dreadful Monday night, which means it's time for another ridiculous Monday Night Raw review. And it's not ridiculous because of me, it's ridiculous because of these idiots at the WWE that just have no idea what the fuck they are doing anymore. This was one of the most long, drawn-out, boring, and ridiculous Monday Night Raws I have been punished to have to watch as a wrestling fan. And if you want to call this a go-home show for a pay-per-view, I'm going to call you an idiot, because I feel like they forgot all about Fastlane, with the exception of having this ridiculous, stupid Shield reunion, and we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. And if you subjected yourselves to this 3-hour torture fest that we call professional wrestling, that we call Monday Night Raw, then I feel about as bad for you as I feel for myself, because Monday Night Raw tonight made absolutely no fucking sense. There is so much ridiculousness going on that I don't even know where to begin. Clearly, many of you are probably wanting to know right off the top of your hats what the hell I think about what happened at the end of the show tonight with Ronda Rousey going and flipping the script and popping a blood vessel in her brain, and all of a sudden she turned on UFC Ronda Rousey, and everybody's all, oh, did you see Ronda? She was so pissed. Who gives a fuck at this point? The WWE, in true WWE fashion, in the way that only they can do, took something as generic, I'm sorry, not generic, the word I was looking for was organic. Something that came together on its own due to the pure output of Becky Lynch and the presence alone of Ronda Rousey, and having an epic encounter at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship, something that you could have booked in your sleep with 4 weeks left to go. And absolutely fucking ruin it because Vince McMahon doesn't feel like there's enough star power in that matchup. You have somebody going up against Ronda Rousey. You could take a fucking 6-year-old girl from the crowd like he did with Little Nicholas and the tag team championships and put her in the ring with Ronda Rousey. You're going to sell tickets because people are going to want to see Ronda Rousey kick some ass. And the way that Becky Lynch has been a goddamn Twitter Terminator as of late, and has just been laying it into Ronnie, going at her with everything, calling her boyfriend a dick, complete with a picture that she photoshopped or had somebody photoshop Travis's head on her arm with that whole Twitter outbreak. Everybody's been following it. You all know about it. Becky Lynch has been doing a fantastic job on social media, on TV, anywhere she can go to get people to understand that she is the man and she is the main event at WrestleMania. Ronda Rousey, the name speaks for itself. Is she the best in the WWE? Has she proven to be a fantastic addition to the women's division? Not if you want to talk about wrestling ability and how she performs in the ring or how she carries herself in a promo segment, but she is one of the best and greatest women's athletes of all time. She's not the worst that we've ever seen. She's nowhere near the level of a Tamina Snuka, who we will get to in a minute, but this was going to be epic. This was going to be magical, and the girls were doing a great job. And then we had to insert Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, a huge name in the professional wrestling industry. She has one of the biggest last names in the history of professional wrestling. And is it deserved for her to be there? Is it really necessary for her to be there? Only in the mind of one crazy 70-year-old man. And it has ruined everything. It has derailed all the momentum to the point where Becky Lynch is coming out tonight in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and barely receiving a fraction of the reactions she was getting just 1 month ago. And you're telling me they're doing a great job at promoting this thing? Oh, they're building it up so great. Look how intense tonight was. What was so intense about tonight? Ronda Rousey came out, she yelled a bunch of shit, and started beating people up. This is what she should have been doing from day one. From day one, but no, we gotta have Ronda coming out and smiling. Hi, I'm Smiley Ronda. I'm here because I was a UFC fighter and I don't fight there anymore and I have nothing else to do. So I'm going to come here and take money from Vince and pretend to fight with the rest of you. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say pretend, or Braun Strowman's going to come in here and choke me for 4 straight minutes. And if I'm as lucky as this idiot from Saturday Night Live, I'm going to survive. Don't break kayfabe, everybody. I can't stand what they did to this program. It was going to be great for Becky Lynch. It was going to be great for Ronda Rousey as well. And adding this third component, and then you want to compound all the things that have been added to it. You got to add all this involvement from Stephanie and all the involvement from the McMahons, that all of the momentum from this thing has been sucked out. It's as if the end of the show tonight, the crowd barely even gave a shit. Until Ronda started throwing hands. Nobody cares as much as they did before Charlotte was announced in this matchup. And then look at how they went about everything. First, Ronda's dropping the title. Apparently she vacated the title. Now we have a vacant title. And now we're going to put 2 SmackDown superstars in the ring to fight for the Raw Women's Championship. Big mistake number 1. How does that make sense? And then, of course, as I called from the beginning of this whole thing, as I'm watching the show tonight, you know the show's not going to go off the air without Ronda Rousey showing up and causing some shit. And that's exactly what happened. Ronda Rousey shows up and makes it all a big to-do, and everybody's all excited about how great it was. I'm not. It's muddled. It's way too much. And I don't care who you are. Anybody saying that Charlotte Flair being added to this match is a bonus is wrong. Charlotte Flair's place is somewhere else. She had her own place to be challenging for championship gold, and that was on SmackDown Live, the show she's actually a fucking part of. She's now been inserted into a feud and a war of words and a beef that she's got nothing to do with. She's had little to do with at all, with the exception of being in a match with Becky Lynch here or there, or a match with Ronda Rousey. There is nothing that justifies her putting her nose in here outside of, well, it's what the boss wants. It's what Vince wants, and Vince wants what Vince gets. And the way that they write this show makes me want to shoot myself in the foot to have a reason to go to the emergency room and not have to be watching the USA Network and Monday Night Raw at this very moment. It's just boring now. It's predictable, and I don't care. You're booking matches for Fastlane 6 days before the pay-per-view on the go-home show. And I'm not supposed to be upset about this. This is a professional fucking company. You were supposed to be the greatest wrestling company in the world. This fucking show should have been booked weeks ago. Booked top to bottom, no questions. You fill everything in pencil. This way, if somebody gets hurt along the way, you erase it and fill in the blank. But right now, this card has no other matches aside from the Shield match and the women's match. And the 2 matches on SmackDown Live. What else is going on? Oh, by the way, don't worry about Fastlane. We have to talk about these 2 jackoffs from Saturday Night Live that nobody gives a shit about, who are going to be correspondents at WrestleMania. Who gives a shit about this, huh? Who even watches Saturday Night Live anymore? I don't. I stopped watching Saturday Night Live right at the beginning of the 2000s. You know, when it stopped being funny? And it started being nothing but political bullshit and Twitter jokes and Instagram memes and anything that I can just go on the fucking internet and see? It's not creative. It's not scripted well. It's just a bunch of hodgepodge bullshit. And it is an absolute perfect mirror for Monday Night Raw. A show that was fantastic in its heyday, but is now just a shell of its former self. Why are we watching these 2 clowns walking around fucking Monday Night Raw? And like I brought up to you guys about the Braun Strowman thing, one of these idiots, I don't know their names, so we're not going to even distinguish them. One of them, the littler one with the white skin, on Monday Night Raw questioned if wrestling is real. He said to Braun Strowman, no less, is any of this even real? To which point, Braun Strowman lifts this man by the jugular and starts choking the life out of him. The WWE goes to commercial. We sit in commercial break for 4 solid minutes, maybe more. Come back, this guy's still up in the air, getting choked by Braun Strowman, and he's not dead. How is that even humanly possible? You're trying to sell me a bag of goods that is physically impossible. And I'm not going to sit here and take it. It's bullshit. It's just there to fill in gaps of free time, to try to fill time on Monday Night Raw when you got 50 plus of some of the greatest talents in all the world, and you want to show me 2 idiots that I purposely don't watch on Saturday nights? Last time I checked in on fucking Saturday Night Live, the weekend update was being anchored by Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. And I love both of those ladies. I love both of their shows respectively. Parks and Rec is fucking great. 30 Rock is fucking great. But the two of them together on that news thing during SNL, at times it was great. But most of the times it was just... SNL was fading away. Just like Monday Night Raw. Every fucking week just fades away. Fades away. As I knock Blue down once again because Raw pisses me off. I'm sorry, Blueski. But this is what happens. I get fired up. The Italian hands start flying all around. I use the hammer even less because my hands are just as much animated. Because this show is dog shit. And I don't understand what happened. I mainly tuned in tonight to see what was going to happen with Dave Batista. And that took about 2 minutes of tonight. Let's talk about the beginning of this fucking show, which is another hot topic. Roman Reigns. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say I don't give a shit about Roman Reigns. It took 7 days. 7 days from his admission of remission of his cancer to go back to being a full-on member of the active roster. And, even worse than that, we're going right back to where none of us want to go back to. And we are going to reunite the Shield for one last time because Dean Ambrose is leaving the company. And Michael Cole wants to say on many occasions tonight, oh, Dean Ambrose didn't renew his contract. He's not planning to renew his contract, so this Shield reunion is quite interesting. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's infuriating. This man comes back from beating cancer. And the best you can do is go back to the cookie jar and pull out the stale fucking 5-year-old cookie that is called the Shield. And reunite them while Dean Ambrose is in the middle of a psychological fucking meltdown. The guy was just on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago with respirators on his face, telling the crowd everybody fucking smells, going after Seth Rollins. And now we're all buddies again? Because Roman deems it so? Dean Ambrose, no pun intended, has been on the fringe over the last couple of weeks. He's acting like a babyface, but he's hateful towards his old running buddies. None of this is being explained. It's all being just left out there. You got Dean Ambrose come out here tonight and lose to Elias in a match that went almost 10 minutes, which I was shocked. I thought for the first time in the last couple of weeks we were going to see Dean Ambrose get a win on Monday Night Raw. Because who gives a fuck about Elias, right? That wasn't the case. Good for Elias. He got a win. But what did this lead to? This led to the reunion of the Shield. And everybody put your fists on your screen because it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Is it a cash grab by the WWE? Is going to be new fucking Shield t-shirts at the arena on Sunday? Guarantee it. Does it make any sense? No. Do you want to see this? No. Don't leave Seth Rollins alone and let him pursue the beast for the Universal Championship on his own path. If your plans, which is the only thing I could see coming out of this thing, is Dean Ambrose being the way he's being and supposedly on his way out of the WWE, is going to flip out and cost the Shield this match somehow, or he's going to turn on his brothers again. Some people are saying Roman Reigns is going to be the one to do the turn. I see people on social media saying, now why would the WWE do that? They would finally, after all these years, they finally got people cheering for Roman Reigns because he survived his battle with leukemia, and you're going to turn him fucking heel? Not that I have a problem with it. At least it would be different, but it would make no sense. Is Dean Ambrose leaving? I say no. I say no. Never before in the history of the WWE have they ever been so cordial and so respectful and so forthcoming with backstage details on a Monday Night Raw. It reeks of storyline. Michael Cole wouldn't be talking about it if it's not in the script. And if they're scripting this stuff, why would they be making him or giving him any sort of a spotlight on his way out? Oh, but he's losing every week. They're not stupid. They're trying to make us believe their story. And why wouldn't we? A lot of you guys are buying in. I'm not. I'm not buying into it. I'm not behind a Shield reunion. I could give two shits about this fucking six-man tag that they wanted to book for Fastlane. How do you make a reunion for the Shield even more stale, even more regurgitated, even more boring? You add the all fucking milk dud, Bobby Lashley, boring Trashley to the mix, and then you bring his two new fucking ridiculous buddies, Constable Corbin Dickhead, which nobody ever wants to see, and Drew McIntyre, who has now become part of another faction of men. Another trio of men, and I cannot even believe I'm sitting here telling you that 3MB is no longer the worst thing Drew McIntyre has ever done. 3MB is an upgrade from being standing shoulder to shoulder with Bobby fucking Lashley and Baron fucking Corbin. The two baldest guys on the roster. Who fucking cares? What is the reasoning behind this alliance? Not that their reason would make it any better for me. I could give two shits. This is a bathroom break match for Nick Nightmare if there ever was one. Every time Baron Corbin shows up on my screen, my eyes and my brain instantly say, bro, go to sleep. Hurry up. Go to sleep. Close your eyes. Go to sleep. But then the other part of me is like, no, we gotta stay up because we can't miss the show. We gotta do the review. Gotta stay up. Gotta do this. So you know what we do? We go in the middle. And we decide to say, fuck this, and we start looking in on social media, seeing what everybody's saying. I'm on my phone tonight, more than I was actually watching the show tonight. How many of you guys can say that? I'm sure a vast majority of you will say the same. There was nothing on this show to hold your interest, and anything that happened in between the first segment and the Shield and the women's segment at the end to end this thing was inconsequential. It was ridiculous and just boring as fuck. If I haven't reiterated the fact that tonight bored the shit out of me, let me just say it one more time. Tonight's Raw was fucking boring. And the main reason for that is because 90% of the show was about the Shield, and the other 10% was about the two fucking idiots from SNL. Oh, and yeah, we had a little bit of the women. Let's talk about the women for a second. Outside of the main event, Tamina fucking Snuka beats Sasha Banks in 3 minutes. Thanks to the assistance of Nia Jax. I don't give a shit if the entire arena came crumbling down as the match was going on and Sasha Banks got hit by some fucking debris and was partially knocked out for maybe about half the match. She still would have got up, came back, and beat somebody like Tamina Snuka. This is a 3-4-time Raw Women's Champion, one of the best NXT Women's Champions we have seen come out of the Gold brand. One of the main figureheads and reasons why women's wrestling was thought to be coming to the forefront of the WWE We all know how that fucking avenue ended up. She could beat Tamina Snuka in her sleep. She could be in a fucking coma and would still come out on top. And you got Tamina Snuka beating Sasha Banks in 3 minutes to establish momentum for the Samoan Slaughterhouse going into this fucking match at Fastlane for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Didn't we do this already? I am so sick of the WWE's agendas. And whatever it is, the reason they have behind it, it's never going to make sense. Why is Michael Cole sitting there telling everybody, oh, they are the most dominant women's tag team that the WWE has ever seen? Why? Because they're fucking huge? Who have they beaten? What have they done? Zero. Why are they such a big threat? You got Corey Graves sitting there saying the only reason they lost is because Nia Jax beat herself. She beat herself? That's not how this works. Somebody pinned her ass. Nia Jax beat herself because she ran into a fucking escape pod? Or elimination chamber pod? Go back and watch that footage again. Bayley was gone. Bayley was way gone. She could have pulled up and avoided everything, but she thinks she's fast, and I say she's just blind, Nia Jax. Running face first into a fucking plexiglass window with nobody standing in front of it. The timing was terrible, because that's what they are. I'm sure in reality they are beautiful women. I'm sure they're sensitive and, they have feelings and they're humans, and I get it. But as wrestlers, they are awful. Awful. Nia Jax is an injury machine. Tamina Snuka hasn't fucking won a match since I was in my 20s. And she's here beating Sasha Banks on a Monday Night Raw. Why do they hate Sasha Banks? Is it because she's related to Snoop Dogg? Is it because she's not a 6-foot fucking blonde with gigantic cans? Is it because of what? Because she's a small person with a small frame? Much like the complaints with the men? Why? This match was unnecessary if you were going to have Sasha Banks lose. They don't need to build momentum for two gigantic women going up against two women half their size. The story tells itself. You didn't need any extra. Fucking awful. Just as awful as, this Monday Night Raw is just about as awful as every other one that we have ever seen. It's almost as if, and we've said this on multiple occasions throughout 2018, and this might be the first time we are saying it this year, but I feel like they're just taking the same script over and over and over again. Maybe they went back to last year, somewhere around March, and was like, hey, let's dust off one from last year. The fans will remember the shows from last year. Because it's the same shit. We got a Shield segment. We got a 6-man tag. We got tag team matchups happening with single superstars. We have gauntlet matches, because now that's the new thing, I guess. We're going to just keep having gauntlet matches. Didn't work for Heavy Machinery tonight the way it worked for Kofi Kingston or Seth Rollins. But I have a feeling that was the frame of mind behind it. Oh, Vince, we have got to get this Heavy Machinery team over. We need tag teams and we need to make them look like serious contenders right now. I don't give a fuck about those fat fucks. Those guys that were in my son's league, I don't care about this NXT trash. But Vince, you signed them, you brought them up, we got to do something with them, bro. You can't just let them sit there and be, the butt of the joke all the time and walking around like the bushwhackers and looking like a couple of mooks. Well, just the gauntlet match. Do the gauntlet match. It worked for that Kingston kid and it worked for Seth Rollins. Is that the way the fucking conversation went down? I imagine it was something pretty similar to that. Heavy Machinery's already dead, in my opinion. Just based off of the way that they are coming across on TV and their persona. Does it matter that they beat 4 fucking tag teams that mean absolutely nothing? No, it doesn't matter. Does it give them any momentum? No. Because all of those teams are trash. You could take the worst team in NXT, and I don't even know which one that would be, and put them against any one of them, and they're going to get destroyed. And this is where Tucker and Otis come from, NXT, the land where tag team wrestling is actually respected and loved and nurtured and cared for. And now they've come up in one night and beat the entire fucking tag team division. And are they getting a championship match opportunity? No. But we're giving a match to Ricochet and Aleister Black. I love Ricochet. Over here, right? I love him. I love Aleister Black. He's over here, right? I don't love them together. Keep fucking Ricochet and Aleister Black in their own fucking lanes. I don't know why I'm spirit fingering you guys while I'm doing this. Maybe it's just to make it feel a little bit more magical watching me. But I hate this team. And it's for a multitude of reasons. Their coming together makes zero sense. I don't give a shit that they decided to do it in NXT and that they're going to be in the Dusty Classic coming up in NXT. I hate that too. What fucking reason would Aleister Black and Ricochet be part of the Dusty Classic unless they are going to win? Why would you want to have Aleister Black and Ricochet be shown in a losing light in any way? They're going to be on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live for the foreseeable future, and you're going to have them go onto this tournament and just end up losing before it's all said and done? Now that they're main roster stars, they're going to be a main roster tag team in an NXT tag team tournament? Let alone their two physical appearances are fucking night and day. And I know that sometimes that's not really a big deal because you could say, well, look at Bubba Ray and Devon, or you could have any countless numbers of odd couple pairings that have happened. X-Pac and Kane. Like, none of them really make sense, and they don't look good aesthetically. They don't look like a team. But this team, just physically, when you look at them, they don't look like they belong together. They really don't. And their talent is too good. Their wrestling skill is too great to be relegated to the tag team division when these are two singles superstars. Yet here they are tonight on Monday Night Raw getting a championship opportunity because they beat the champions last week on Monday night. This makes no sense. None of it makes sense. And I can't stand it anymore. There were so many times tonight I really just wanted to shut the TV off and go to bed, because this last week has been a real fucking rough one for me, and it doesn't look like this next week is going to get even easier, any easier. But I shuffled through and I suffered through these fucking 3 hours because of my dedication to my show and how I don't want it to feel like the same show every week, like Monday Night Raw is. But when they keep giving me repeat garbage on a loop for the last year and a half, my show probably sounds exactly the same as well, because I'm coming out here giving you guys the same complaints about the same things every week. The women's division is a shambles. The tag team division is a joke. Monday Night Raw itself is a laughing stock. You want to talk about a laughing stock? Let's talk about Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was, once upon a time, one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. Could go toe-to-toe with anybody. Iron Man matches, multi-fall matches, falls count anywhere matches, you name it. We've seen Kurt Angle was so good at one point, he took a young Shane McMahon and gave us one of the best matches of his entire career at the King of the Ring. And now, Kurt Angle is an old man who does 3 moves. Every time you've seen Kurt Angle in the ring over the last few weeks, the very same Kurt Angle that came out on Monday Night Raw 3 weeks ago and said he can't do this anymore and he was ready to hang him up, he's now been wrestling consistently for the last 3 weeks since he's made that announcement. Let me just throw that one out there, in case you have forgotten. And now all he does is German suplexes and the belly-to-belly suplex and the ankle lock. That's my Olympic hero. Those are the 3 eyes. Instead of the 3 eyes, we got the 3 moves. That's all Kurt can do. I mean, if that's what you're going to do, at least go with that. These are my 3 moves. They're the 3 eyes. That's his moves. Intensity, integrity, intelligence. Each fucking maneuver. Named each one. There you go. At least I made it make sense. Why is he in the ring if he can't do it the way he used to? He clearly looked uncomfortable, and he doesn't look like he can hang with the guys. And I don't want to see him like that, because in my head, Kurt Angle is still one of the best to ever set foot in a wrestling ring. Now I got to see him like this? When he first came back to the WWE, before he did that whole general manager shit, is when I wanted to see him wrestling. Now that he's been out of the ring and collected more and more rust and walking around fumbling and bumbling on lines and being one of the worst general managers I've ever seen, he's lost a step. And it's clear as fucking day, and don't tell me you didn't see it as well. I don't even want to talk about that fucking 6-man that started this match. McIntyre, Corbin, and Bobby Lashley defeated Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman. At one point during this matchup, Braun Strowman hit Lio Rush with that running Strowman train. And I feel like we should never see Lio Rush again. He should be, just like the fucking jerk from Saturday Night Live, dead and never seen on TV again. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. More ridiculousness. We go backstage. Charlie Caruso's talking to Heavy Machinery. She shows Heavy Machinery a clip of all the other fucking idiots in the non-existent tag team division talking shit about Heavy Machinery. And we're not seeing any compelling things. We're not seeing the tag team division, gathering together and getting pissed off that this new NXT tag team has come out of nowhere and is getting more TV exposure and is gaining more momentum and is all of a sudden a bigger priority than the rest of us who have been sitting here busting our ass waiting for our shot because we're not going out there and doing anything for it. And they turned it into, oh, he's fat and dumb. He's a fat, dumb, hillbilly hick guy. Childish, immature, stupid humor. Crude, not the type of shit you need on Monday Night Raw. And don't go, oh, well, it's a children's show too, you gotta have someone for the kids. Fuck the kids. Do you realize this segment took place after 9 p.m.? Your children should be in bed for school, like mine was. So don't give me that shit. You want to have fucking shows for kids, do what you did when I was a kid and put on a 1-hour show for them, edited specifically for them on a Saturday afternoon. Hey, I don't know, call it Superstars. Imagine that. Or Wrestling Challenge. Get people over with the kids. Push your fucking Roman agenda. And then have Monday Night Raw be a more mature, adult-oriented show. Have the first hour a little bit light so that some of the kids can watch, but by the time you hit 9 o'clock, your kids should be in bed no matter what fucking show you're watching if you're a good parent, and you can continue on with the night in a more adult fashion, because we all deserve to be treated like adults at the end of the day, but WWE wants to treat us like a bunch of fucking 5-year-olds. Like 5-year-olds are the only ones watching Monday Night Raw. Did you see a fucking audience in Philadelphia tonight consisting of all children? No! Did you see even one child? You probably saw at least one. I'm exaggerating there. But they're in the crowd. But this is a combat sport. It starts off as mature subject matter just by the fact that everything is solved with violence. And everybody's worried about a few fucking potty-mouthed words. That you gotta say, oh, she's fat and dumb. We can't be any more creative than that. Let's act like we're in a schoolyard. Oh, he's a big fat guy. Oh, he's probably smelly and dumb and stupid. Heavy Machinery was great. What happens when you go to Raw? You go from great to garbage. Just like Ruby Riott. I don't know who hates Ruby Riott in the WWE. I don't know what they got against her. Probably the same thing they have against Sasha Banks. She's smaller. She don't have big tits. She don't have long blonde hair. She's not your most classically attractive woman. She's got a little weird pigeon thing going on with her face. And that might be a thing. Maybe you like to bang pigeons. I don't know. If you're attracted to Ruby Riott, maybe that's just something you want to look into to get a little bit of satisfaction until you can maybe have a date with Ruby one day. She's not the ugliest person you ever seen. That's not what I'm saying. But she definitely is not Vince McMahon's cup of tea. And you wonder why she's losing to people like Natalya, who've been around for over a decade and is at the point in her career where she should be putting people over so that when she's gone, the women's division is in good hands. But instead, she's going out there and beating Ruby Riott in 2 minutes. For what reason? Why are we even having this match for the 100th time? Just because Natalya decides, oh, she's not finished with Ruby yet? Who's calling the shots here? What the fuck is going on? You got nothing better for Ruby. You got nobody else. You got a list of people. You got fucking Lacey Evans. Bam, 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 bam. I'm gonna waste your time and do nothing but wear a dumb hat and look stupid and say nothing. And she could have came out to the fucking ring in her stupid song and do the whole thing and fucking fought Ruby Riott. Give us something different, something new. You don't want it to be Ruby? Let it be Natalya. Why? And at the same time that you're giving us the same repetitive bullshit, you are killing a future superstar in Ruby Riott. Just keeping her right at the bottom of the barrel for as long as you fucking can. And I don't understand it. What else is on this fucking show? Oh, here we go. Stephanie McMahon is greeted backstage by, Michael Che and Colin Jost. I don't care. We are going to skip right past that. Scroll up on the tablet because I could care fucking less. And I want to see less, and I only know more is coming, and it's fucking ridiculous. I don't care that he was in Philly in a Mets hat, and the Philly fucking people boo-hooed because he's wearing a New York hat. Get over it. I don't care. Triple H's promo. I have been notorious on this channel telling you guys that the old guard comes on Monday Night Raw almost on a weekly basis and shows the young talent how it's done when it comes to delivering promos. And I can't really say that here. And it pains me even more so because it's fucking H, man. Triple H is my guy. We've talked about this many times over the course of the last 3 years that we've been here. One of the reasons we are the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show is because of my fandom and love and appreciation and respect for the performer that Triple H was in my day and for everything that he has done with NXT in the follow-up to that wrestling career. Nothing but respect and love for the biggest nose in wrestling. He's my guy. He's always been my guy. I got about 15 fucking Triple H shirts and maybe 1 or 2 of everybody else's. Just being honest. Before I bring the hammer down on the originator of the sledgehammer in pro wrestling, Triple H. Definitely dropped the ball tonight. I think Triple H was trying too hard to feign some emotion. You know, because we're talking about his mentor, his father figure, and Ric Flair being attacked by Dave Batista on his birthday. How do you do that to him on his birthday party? Oh my God, Dave, how do you do it? And I just wasn't really buying it. He felt like he was trying to force his emotions. And the one thing I want to say that bothered me more than anything else is Triple H went down that fourth wall breaking road and he's like, oh, you're not getting the game. You're not getting the character. You're getting the man. First of all, I thought Becky Lynch was the man. Second of all, Paul Levesque, the man, does not fucking scare me. You know who scares me? Triple H scares me. The cerebral assassin scares me. The Game is a frightening individual to have to get in the ring and play around against. Paul Levesque? Papa H? The guy running to shake hands with every new fucking signee, giving a little thumbs up and a shoulder hug? That man's not intimidating. I know I'm not an idiot, and neither are you guys, so let me just clarify before some jerk-off down in the bottom has to tell me, oh, it's the same person. It's the same body. It's the same muscles. Yeah, so what? You take Paul Levesque on his worst day and put him side by side with Triple H. At his height of his intensity and his anger, there is no contest. So who would you be more afraid to face? If you're Triple H, I'm not going to tell you that the man's coming out. I'm going to leave my character at the door. Remember that guy, that 14-time world champion, that guy that you've been in the ring against, that has made you bleed, the guy that has won more Elimination Chambers than anybody in the history of the Elimination Chamber, the guy that has been a multiple-time champion here and there and everywhere, the guy that has formed DX, the guy that has fucked over his best friend in HBK, and everything that he has ever done that has made him a fucking sick, sadistic freak. And you're going to tell me I'm going to leave that guy over there? No, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. You want me to go in the ring against Corporate H? The big bad papa? I'm ready. I'm Dave Batista. I'm Drax the fucking Destroyer. I went toe-to-toe with fucking Thanos. I ain't scared of fucking Paul Levesque. You tell me Triple H is coming? I'm going to shit my pants. I didn't like that he went there with it. Trying to bring the reality, trying to break the fourth wall, making it more intense. In this situation, brought it down for me. All he had to do was be the game. Tell Big Dave he's coming to get him for beating up the original man of pro wrestling. The Nature Boy Ric Flair. I did enjoy Batista. I enjoyed Batista's little pre-filmed promo thing, and I liked his tone in his voice. It was very reminiscent of a Jake the Snake Roberts promo. It was very soft-spoken, very determined, and with purpose. He didn't come on here, start ranting and raving about Triple H. He just was matter-of-fact, to the point, just like I'm doing right now, just completely different from everything else that you would hear from an amped-up pro wrestler, the complete opposite of what Triple H went out there and did. And I appreciate things like that, because you don't always have to be yelling and screaming at the screen and the TV to grab my attention. Dave Batista wants my attention. He starts speaking soft. What happens when somebody starts speaking in a way that you can't really hear them as you would somebody yelling across the room? You lean in, right? It forces you to engage, because it's like, wow, what's he saying? And if you can't hear it, you're either going to turn up your volume or you're going to start finding yourself leaning in just a little bit to engage further, because he's got you. He's got your attention, and that's all he wants. Now we're going to have a face-to-face. We're going to have a face-to-face next week on Raw between Triple H and Dave Batista. Here's where things might get me pumped a little bit, but all in all, I felt like Triple H's promo was not his best and could have been a lot better. I wouldn't go as far as to say it sucked. It was one of the better parts of the night, but it could have been done much better. We talked about Heavy Machinery running the gauntlet, defeating the B Team. Do you give a shit? The Ascension? Garbage. Hawkins and Ryder haven't won a fucking match yet. So what did Heavy Machinery prove? That they're the best of all the jobbers. Fucking good for you. Who cares? Then we have a segment. You want to call time of death on EC3? We could do that right now. EC3 standing in the back with fucking Ike and Mike dickhead from SNL walking around in the back. They walk past EC3. They make some kind of a stupid joke about him and then walk away. The guy don't fucking move. He like froze in his pose and like stayed there for the entirety of the segment. Some people were marking out of his, oh, did you see EC3? He was so funny. He didn't even move. The only thing funny about that is that I told you so. I'm laughing at all of you people who still believe EC3 has anything fucking going on a Monday Night Raw. How could you watch tonight and go, oh wow, EC3 is doing real good on Raw tonight. He's standing in the back like a fucking mannequin. While Titus O'Neil and two idiots from Saturday Night Live get all the fucking airtime. Fucking awful. Elias defeated Dean Ambrose. Talked about that one. Tamina defeated Sasha Banks. Defeated that. And the main event segment. We pretty much talked about everything there is to talk about. We've been rambling on now ourselves here for a good 40 plus minutes, and I think I'm going to call time of death on this Monday Night Raw review because I don't want to fucking talk about it anymore. I told you guys all the winners and losers. The biggest losers, as always, is you and I. You guys, as well as myself, get sucked into that false sense of hope. It's Monday night. Maybe tonight's the night it all turns around. But they did turn around. They did a complete 180 and are sending us back to the days of the Shield. And I want no part of it. Fastlane is already shaping up to be a piece of trash. Trash Lane coming at us this fucking Sunday on pay-per-view. But before then, we have got one final stop tomorrow night on SmackDown Live. And I'm hoping that they, once again, like they usually do, restore my faith in Monday Night Raw just a little bit. I went off the rails tonight. And I'll tell you, it might have a lot to do with the fact that we've had a very stressful and bothersome last couple of weeks, personally. Or it might have something to do with the fact that Monday Night Raw is just, it's an abomination of a show. I would be embarrassed if I worked for this company to call myself a part of this company, and I would be embarrassed to admit to the world that I'm a wrestling fan after watching a fucking show like this. Which is why we need SmackDown Live and NXT in our lives to balance out all the evil. But until then, I'm going to be salty as fuck. Might as well just call me Nick Vinegar. Because that's what we're full of. All that piss and vinegar. Not honey and vinegar. Thank you guys so much. We're going to wrap this up. This has been the Monday Night Raw review on this. What the fuck date is it today? They made me forget even what the number is. Today is Monday, March the 4th, 2019. And I hope to never relive this date again, because it was just a fucking awful show. If you enjoyed tonight's show, as I like to say to you guys, as always, good for you. I'm glad you were able to find joy in something that brought me nothing but misery for 3 hours tonight. And hopefully, before I leave this earth, Monday Night Raw will return to its glory days. But until that day comes, we will be here to bring the hammer down for you guys every Monday night and following each WWE major event. Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night SmackDown, Trash Lane, WrestleMania, and everything in between. Thank you guys so much for being here. Once again, if this is your first time here and you enjoyed today's show for any reason, make sure you smash that thumbs up. But most importantly, become part of the Sledgehammer Club today and join the family. Become one of the many brothers and sisters that I have culminated in my journey here on YouTube. It is one of the finest communities in all of the internet wrestling communities, and you will not regret joining up with the best wrestling fans on the planet, and they all reside here at the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, all showing up as usual in the comments section down below. You guys light it up, because I know you guys were all as fired up as I was when this show went off the air tonight, and we just want it all to be over as quick as possible, and let's just get to WrestleMania and reset the fucking wrestling year already, because I just can't take anymore. So make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss anything as we are on the road to WrestleMania with lots of things in the works for you guys. And as always, share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they couldn't fucking stand 1 minute of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. And now let's pay a little bills as always, because this show is brought to you by Audible. Audible has over 180,000 books to choose from, and you could take any one of those books, choose one for free by going to our Audible Trial / Sledgehammer TV link in the comments section down, or in the description down below, or you could just type it in as you see it right there, audibletrial.com / Sledgehammer TV into your web browser and collect your free book by signing up for a 30-day free trial. Choose from that vast collection to stick whatever book you want right directly into your ears and get that sweet, sweet Audible pleasure directly downloaded into your brain. And all you gotta do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now. As a thank you for being a fan of this show and supporting us here, you get a free book and a 30-day free trial. And if you've already gotten a 30-day free trial and free book from some other source, anywhere that there is, please feel free to extend this invitation to anybody else you know that you might want to get into Audible. Maybe you know how great Audible is already, and you got a buddy, and you're like, hey, buddy, you want a fucking book? You want a book, man? Get one right now. I got my guy, Nick Nightmare, from the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. You like wrestling? Go watch his show, and then go to this link, audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now. Get your free audiobook and 30-day free trial. Thank you all 1,282 of you sledgehead bastards who came here tonight to enjoy the hammering festivities, as we do not bring the hammer down as hard as anything as we do on Monday Night Raw. And whose fault is that? It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's their fault. They have nobody to blame but themselves. Thank you guys once again. That is going to do it for today's show. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. You guys, as always, are the most important member of the team, because without you, I am just sitting in a tiny-ass studio that I built myself, talking to myself, and that would make me a crazy person. Am I? I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. That, my friends, is going to do it. We are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com. And we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. Haboo!